All right, so finally our last question, we have write the point slope form of the line that contains the point, -1 and 3. So that's x1, y1, and it's perpendicular. So again, we're looking for the opposite reciprocal slope to the line 3x plus 5y equals -9. Now, remember for this one, our equation is written in standard form. So it's an ax plus by equals c, which means that I don't have an m. So I need to go ahead and rewrite it to fit that y equals mx plus b form. So I need to make sure I solve for y. So that means, again, moving that x to the end. So that was a positive 3x, became a negative at the end. Rewriting it to a positive 5y equals -9 minus 3x. And then, of course, dividing everything by 5. Right, so y equals -9 over 5 minus 3 over 5x. Okay, so now my slope for this one will be -3 over 5. But again, remember, because we are finding and looking for the perpendicular line, I need to find my reciprocal, or my perpendicular slope. So that is going to be, so if my slope here is -3 over 5, right, the opposite of a negative is a positive, and then I have to flip that. So it's 5 over 3. So this is the slope that I'm looking for to write it into my point slope form, which is y minus y1 equals m, and then x minus x1. All right, so the slope that I need is 5 over 3. So I'm going to write that in here, just this one. All right, and then I go back to the slope that I had, the point that I had right here. So I see that my x1 is -1, my y1 is 3. So remember that when we bring it back into our equation, we have to change that sign. So it's y, if I have a positive 3 in my point, remember it's going to be a -3 here in my equation. So it was this one. And then for my x, so I have x and I have a -1 in my point. So if it's a -1 in my point, remember my equation is going to be a +1. All right, so this one here. So for this one, technically this would be a question just like we had in parallel. On the computer, it would be a drag and drop. You're dragging everything into the right spots that's needed. But for now, because this is on paper, we're just going to go ahead and write it out in this form. All right, so I want you to go ahead and go to that next question and attempt this question on your own. I keep forgetting to clear this. Give me a second. There we go. So attempt this question on your own based off of the example we just did. And then that'll be it. So you can be able to proceed to the independent practice after that. Just go ahead and answer those questions. And then there will be no DOL because, again, I'm not there to kind of facilitate it. So don't worry about the DOL. Just make sure you work on that independent practice and you turn it in as well.